Welcome back to House TV Live. I'm Rick Spence, and with me today is none other than Ginger Curtis with Urbanology out of beautiful Dallas, Texas. And this time, we're going to see an amazing client home. This is so beautiful. Give me an overall feel for this home and what the goal was and, what you were going for here. Just give me the lay of the land.
Absolutely, Rick. So I think the most important thing to note is where and why this project started. So this family's home had been their original home was obliterated in one of the tornadoes that had ripped through the Dallas area. And the way they were displaced was really traumatic. So this represented a fresh start for this family.
You walk into this home and you're just greeted with very warm tones, the wood, the beautiful beams. Give me a feel for the overall aesthetic of the main living area.
Very relaxed, modern, very California casual, elevated, but approachable.
Let's go into the great room and the kitchen and walk me through some of the big choices here.
Two of the really big ones in the kitchen. One was the backsplash. And the reason why that was so important is because when you've got that much expanse of wall space, right? You cannot choose something overly complicated or overly simple. Because it could just disappear or it could be too much. So we ended up doing beautiful, long, tumbled rectangular tile. And so the edges are a little bit tumbled and the actual surface of the tile is not completely flat. And what that does is when the light hits it, it creates shadows and movement, right? So even though the tile is all one color, it appears to have this little bit of movement in it because of the way the light bounces off. The perfect choice for that spot and the expansiveness of what's happening there. The vent hood was really a moment to add some black to really just command attention on that wall. And then the lighting, the lighting acts as like the jewelry. The beautiful lights really give the space a lot of personality.
I love that. Walk me through the living space. So this is also part of the great room where the fireplace and the TV is. You're in the kitchen, you look over, you got all these beautiful windows. And how did you create sort of a little bit of separation and also make it a unique experience, the fireplace and the TV and that kind of thing?
The goal is to make a space, especially when it's the living room, that feels really elevated. Realizing all at the same time that kids and guests and everybody else are going to roam through and are really going to use those spaces. She doesn't have to worry about the kids in those spaces. Everything's performance fabric. The wood pieces are sturdy and heavy. They're not going to bowl them over, And so there's all sorts of ways to incorporate a lot of function and not sacrifice beauty.
When you're looking at scale and you're thinking about how you're going to populate the space, how do you think about it? Because this was really a beautiful sort of blank canvas for you.
Yeah, scale is huge. You can either make or break a design plan based on scale. I think one of the biggest mistakes we see people make is lighting that's too small. That's a really, really big one. And then in Texas, we just, like the homes here are just large and the living rooms are large. And so it's really critical that you don't put a tiny sofa, in one of these great big living rooms, because it's going to feel like dollhouse furniture. So we really considered how do we balance the room? How do we keep it feeling really open, but like its own cozy spot? Because we didn't want it to be like this barrier between the kitchen and the living room. We really wanted those spaces to speak to one another in a very intentional way. And it's this mix of texture, material, design styles. I mean, you've got this really branchy sort of like modern, elegant light fixture. And then you've got this like spindly sofa, that love seat sofa, and it's got this wood ledge, and then what's happening with the rug, and then the dark, heavy coffee table, and the fact that it's like nesting. There's a set of two. And then even the artwork adds just a right amount of pop of color, but it's very modern.
And it just works beautifully. Let's go into the dining space.
Yeah, one of the things that we wanted to do differently was not putting a light fixture hanging from the ceiling. I mean, that room almost like it could feel so tempting to do it because it's the front of the house and at night you could light up and it would glow, but it would also feel very expected, And so we instead did these giant arched light fixtures, wall sconces coming off the walls at different tiers. And it feels dramatic because it's unexpected. The table, holy cow, it took, I think, 55,000 men to get that thing. I mean, it's just solid, that tabletop, and to put that in there. But the black and how beautifully it plays with the white oak floors and the light walls. I mean, it just feels very artisanal.
I love that space. I mean, that's just crazy, the amount of light that comes in there.
Yeah, the light just floods in. And it being a dining room, it's not a common area in the house. It's a perfect room to just, leave the windows completely bare. And there's just a lot of architectural beauty to what's happening with those windows.
It's just so many great spaces. Tell me about this beautiful main bedroom.
Yep. So this is the main, and this is downstairs. And this room was really about creating impact in the most simplistic way. It's like we didn't have to do something bold that was overwhelming. We could create impact with just these minimal lines and, draw your eye to the back of the window treatments, really architectural lighting. And then again, the cozy elements that make it feel textural and layered. This was just, this was a room that was quite popular. We had a lot of people really get excited when we first revealed the space. One of a really great textural moment was the rug. It's vintage. And so it just gives you that worn in, really, really, really cozy feel, complements that beautiful light oak floor so well, the bench, the bedding, the chair. And then, so it's that balance of like hard and soft. We've got the metal and the wood, which feels hard. And then we incorporate all those softer elements to give it some warmth. One of the things that was so important to this family was the kids' spaces. She really wanted to give them something that she never grew up with. And it was a lot of intentionality and a place for them to dream and to play and to roam. And man, we really just got to do some super fun things with the kids' rooms and the playroom.
Just awesome. This fun play space. This looks super cool. You've got like an art table, rock wall. Tell me about this one.
Oh my gosh, this was just a dream to design because you get special little moments and opportunities when you're working in kids' spaces. And so we took full advantage. Every single wall, every elevation had something really unique to the space. That rock climbing wall, as we got into designing the space, and it was so beautiful, the last thing we wanted to do was put in a ready-made, like cheesy rock climbing wall that had all these colors that were not vibing with this great concept that we were pulling together. A lot of trial and error, but it ended up turning out beautiful. But the little rocks are actually wood, is all handmade. I mean, Rick, you and I can get up there and like climb up that wall, and it's going to last a lifetime and beyond. This room was really about function and organization as well. There's a place for absolutely everything, which is important in kids' rooms, especially custom built-ins and floating shelves. Those cabinets store all the things that mom doesn't want to see or wants to be able to quickly be able to put away. So again, tons of function. And then the opposite wall is a little writing station. And we've got a big craft paper roll, and there's a light that shines down, and the kids can use that, and it's humongous. And then next to it's a little built-in desk. So just all the functionality and more, it is packed into that room.
This is like a little startup environment. I've seen, it's like...
Yes.
It's
yes.
like, who knows what these kids are going to have some little startup. It's like so creative. What a great space. And then you have I like the little thing you did with the triangle with the paint.
Yeah.
How fun is that? That's really cool.
So fun. Just looking for ways to be creative. Did this unique little spot in that corner and highlighted it. And it makes such an impact right there.
Let's take a look at, there's a little loft area up there where you've got the library. Tell me about that. What a great space to have a piano up there, and you've got books, and this can be sort of like, I don't know, your little intellectual zone.
So this is such a cool space. She wanted to be able to hang out with the kids and have a little reading area. And so we created that, but there was a challenge. She had this piano that she's had, I believe, since she was a kid. She was thinking like, hey guys, somehow you've got to figure out how to incorporate my old piano into the dining room. And we were thinking, oh, no, it's not going to work in the dining room. No way. And so when we designed that landing area, we created a space just for that piano to just sit in there, in a place where they gather and read and play music.
It's just so many great spaces. This home office alone is worth the new build. Tell me about this beautiful home office.
I mean, we just had so much wonderful opportunity. The fact that we had these giant windows and the light flooding in, it's the number one thing that you hope that you can work with those kind of elements, and we got it. And so we wanted the view from both directions to be compelling. And so when you're driving and you see the exterior of this home, we don't want it to feel like it's disjointed from the architectural style of the exterior of the home. All of these little things. And then, we're thinking about it of walking into that long hallway with these huge doors, and you open them, and then what's your experience that way? And so we really thought about that space from all those different views so we could create something that wasn't too heavy, wasn't too minimal, just the right balance of pieces and texture.
Now, you came out with a book this year that kind of goes into like your sort of design journey. And can you give me just a brief overview of that? And what's that about?
So this was really exciting endeavor. And the book is called Beauty by Design. And it's really one of the first chapters is you are worthy of beauty, and giving us permission to really lean into that and be intentional. I think a lot of times we can look at our houses and think like, oh, that's not necessary, or, but man, the place that you live and breathe every single day, it's not just important, it is necessary. And so the book really talks about the heart of that, and how my brand and design aesthetic developed, and some of just the low rock bottom moments that I faced and had to survive to keep going and to grow the firm.
And I have to ask you, what role did house play? Because I got to know.
Oh my gosh. House. Okay. So, oh man, I could cry because house is really, truly what helped me launch. I'm like literally crying. I'm so grateful because I just received so much support. I was just nobody random North Texas designer. Nobody had heard anything, and I'm working my way through this world, and I find house and I find some tools, and then all of a sudden, I'm getting connected with really great clients through the house platform. And so I start like investing in deeper and like, what does that look like? And so, really fun story. One of my very, very, very first projects, I hadn't hired a single employee. It was just me. And it became the number one most popular children's room in the entire world on Houzz. I'm literally like nobody. Okay. And then all of a sudden this room just gets refeatured in all these countries. And it gives me this like little baby street cred. You know what I mean? Like that all came from Houzz, and then we ended up like winning an award, for that space, and, the rest is history. But in a nutshell, Rick, like Houzz has been life-changing and really the vehicle that helped me launch my business.
That's awesome.
We have spent the last 6 months doing a side-by-side of some of the new Houzz Pro features and some of our current project management software systems. And the reason why it was worth 6 months is because that is a huge shift if we are going to move platforms like completely. And so when we got through all the data and information, like Houzz was the winner, hands down. And so we are literally in the process right now of making the migration from our current platform solely to using all of the Houzz Pro tools for ordering, for proposals, for tracking, CRM, everything.
All right, Ginger. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And we will be in touch, and can't wait to see what you do next.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.